not really going to matter.
Wolf is scouting here too, which I like a
here
lot.
comes a big charge.
What they're getting into.
Good shard stop.
And they're just going to back out. They don't have the Pudge, who is obviously the key playmaker here. I really do like the way that CMU adapted their draft here. Instead of going with the bounty hunter that they had last time, this time around they've gotten some much more aggressive mid-game heroes that are able to actually output damage. What is Kim Jong-il doing?
He's trying to burn the Aegis spell.
Oh, okay.
He's like, cogs don't matter. Whatever. I'm coming back. So here he comes up. Aegis is used to refresh him. In comes the stun from the Alchemist. Kim Jong will back up. Alchemist going to charge very, very deep.
That was...
I'm always curious.
I don't know why he would do that instead of just letting it expire. It would have healed him, and then he wouldn't have been in... Like, if that had been a hook shot onto this location with the stun, with an AA ult, he would have died right after, probably. It might have been some trades, but it would have been a really weird, funny, silly way for a farming carry to die.
Oh, yeah. So Kim Jong is going to get engaged on. Here comes the stun from the high ground. Out it goes. Big hook. Going to grab one and isolate, so 4K will drop in the trees with Derek Yan's help. They catch Sex. He's in some trouble. Beavis wants to make the chase happen. Down he goes. Good stun there. In comes the finish from Jesse, though, to take one for the price of two. And CMU will be happy with that. As now Venom wants to go deep. He's a little bit exposed. Caught with the Walrus Punch. Psycho God wants to come to the trade. Puts up the Golden Brace. This might actually work against Venom, though, as in comes the Snowball. Catches Psycho. Derek Yan's going to go around. Turns up. Gets finished off by a nice Ice Shard. This could be the end. Metallic's going to go down. Down goes the Ancient Apparition. And now Jesse in some trouble, so I take it back. A great play by Psycho God that allows them to keep some things in action. Venom's going to have the blink off in just a second. Catches Jesse. Finishes the job. Does get caught by the cogs, though. He's got to go the long way around. Can he get out? Psycho God's got the Cold Embrace. We'll give it to him for a second to heal him up. Ancient Apparition is going to actually miss because of the Cold Embrace. Venom trying to get away, but taking so much tower damage. And now a TP comes in to try and finish the job as Sex wants to make sure Venom goes down. Venom buying a ton of space and just running every direction he can. And that will be the end. What? All that time, and he ends up with the deny.
I saw with that much space between you and your opponents, you just smile all the way to the bank, man. There's no way they were going to close that gap.
Gold climbs up to 7,500 for CMU, XP at 7,500 as well, and that's one of those denies that it's hard not to get on the keyboard and taunt after getting. Derek Yan going to go invis with that rune, track Xenos King around here just a little bit to see if he's alone. Not going to be able to do much, though. Just going to kind of keep vision on the opposing team. Great wards by Dire right now. Their aggressive vision is out freaking rageous. Look at that.
And also, Silencer just happens to be hanging out down here. Going to get a free kill and walk away. Probably.
Well, not necessarily free. As Xenos King comes in, CMU is going to lose the Silencer. But you know what? That's a good trade for a Clockwork.
Always worth a one-on-one trade for Silencer if it doesn't cost you an objective. Right? Because Silencer just got intelligence.
Yep. Yes, he did. He's smart.
Granted, that did give out a lot of gold, so maybe not always worth it, but they are far enough ahead that the 500 gold swing is a drop in the bucket. I would take the 2 intelligence for that 9 out of 10 times.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Clockwork is actually he's farmed way under far compared to the Silencer, so I guess like you said, not as valuable as we thought it was, but still a good
definitely in this case worth it. Usually worth it to get that Silencer kill. Now, one of the saving graces, honestly, for the Radiant has been that they have been killing the Silencer off early in these fights. So he hasn't been stealing nearly as much intelligence relative to 18 kills, right? He's been around for 7 of those. That's honestly, that's not too bad. So and he is a support as well.
Venom pushing solo. He's got the Ag Scepter and a double damage in the bank. So he's looking to combo that up with a nice little Dismember if he can put the combo together. And that's why he's so far forward playing aggressively. But everybody's just too scared of him right now. So if he's not visible on the map, it just plays this mind game with RIT. And you can tell that they're caught inside of that. Meanwhile, up on top, we've got Clockwork and Sax going to push together towards this top lane, hoping to try and take their first tier 1 of the match.
Yeah, they need to get something, but they can't be too aggressive here. Once again, the Radiant's not quite out yet, which means they're just going to go for it. They don't care. They're going to
pop
smoke.
The smoke. They've got to try to make these plays.
They were seen doing that, though, so everybody's going to back out. They're not going to make anything happen here.
Down in the mid is where Venom wants to stand by. He's got 2 guys on backup with him. They put down a ward just to make sure that nobody has vision on what they're trying to do. And then Derek Yan says, I'm going to go baiting. And Venom says, please do.
Yep, he is a worm on a hook down here, and they also know, because they saw a smoke up top, that there's at most 2 heroes coming to try and kill the Silencer, right? Because they're not going to rotate with the smoke all the way down here.
All right, so he slips forward. Radiant does have vision in that spot, though, so they see him immediately. And ping out the Pudge, so Pudge just backs away. Meanwhile, up on top, the charge is on. Out come the TPs. Can he get there before it goes? Yes, they can. Oh, Sext is going to find himself in a situation. As much as he yells a safe word, they are not going to let him out of that one. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Tusk gets caught by Venom, and the kill goes through. 15 flesh heap stacks for that man as they roll aggressively down the top lane, looking to finish off the last tier 2 on the map for these boys.
Yeah, this isn't some housewives romance novel. There is no safe word. You're just going to take it.
You're going to take it.
And look at this, the Necronomicon ready. They've got the Howl up in 8 seconds. This is going to be a tower. It might be 2. No Radiance on the Alchemist. He does have the armlet, but doesn't honestly really matter because he can't toggle it because he's being forced into these long stuns.
Yeah. All right, nice word pinged out by his team saying, guys, they have vision up here, but what can you really do about that? At this point in time, they need the Alchemist to come up. Harassment comes out from Tusk. Kim Jong-il wants to stick around, pops the Howl, lets his wolves do a little bit of damage, but they're not going to take the risk. They back off, wait for the creep wave. Meanwhile, down the bottom, they do see Xenos King on standby. Xenos happy to try and get a little bit of farm in his pocket. That level 11 ult, very, very important for him. And the long-range Ice Shard, probably, honestly, long-range Ice Blast, probably more effective than him being anywhere near this fight with the level situation he's in. That said, Spirit Breaker tastes some tasty free gold and wants to go for Xenos King, who's stuck a little too long. Gonna grab a TP, but not before his death. Yeah,
he won't be able to get away, and he will be giving up some intelligence as well.
Oh, nice play. So Derek Yang comes in there, gets the free intelligence, and you know, that's the really upside of a silencer, right? You figure when you're in a position in the Ancient Apparition, super underfarmed, not a lot of levels, you figure, if I can pick up a fair amount of gold on a push while they're distracted, get myself a level or 2, if I do get picked off, it's not the end of the world because I don't have a lot to give away. That said, with a silencer on the other side, there's always a lot to give away.
A did just before he died. He finished his Hand of Midas. He has not had a chance to use it yet because it hasn't even been assembled yet.
Right.
That I am a odd proponent of the Hand of Midas AA. I think that it works very well, but this is late even by my standards, especially if you have an Alchemist on your team. And Pudge is just going to get a kill. He had an Invis rune. Not a lot to see there.
Yeah.
It's just walk up in death.
Easy peasy Venom. Twitch chat insists Dendy must be standing behind him at the desk right now.
Yeah, I think he might be Dendy. maybe not that extreme, but he's doing very well.
He's got the same playstyle though, right? That sort of like,
that's the
back me
playstyle
up,
you
guys.
have to have with Pudge. You
That's
absolutely need that playstyle if you want to be a successful Pudge. His team has been able to support him much better this game because they have A, better initiation, B, they're more aggressively stands the whole time.
He was just trying to catch up to his friends for saving Midas.
He was trying to run out and use his Midas, I think.
Does get the ultimate, comes through, big hook by the Clockwork. This could be some trouble for Venom. He's going to go ahead and try to get the hook, misses it, and he will ultimately go down. No freaking way. Oh my god. Gets the self-deny. Drives RIT to the state of complete fury, I would imagine. Psycho God pushes back the Tusk, and they will take this mid-tower, and Kim Jong gonna want to back away here as in comes the stun. He's gonna have to throw it early before he gets out of range. Doesn't happen. Nice silence from the silencer to allow Sex to stun himself and get the split push, get Kim Jong out of the danger zone. Now he'll heal up so he can continue with the assault, and they're pinging out Sex, and we can go on him. The charge is there. He is dropping low. They're going to go ahead and hold him in place with a beautiful little play until the stun gets in unnecessarily. Good ulti from the Ancient Apparition, going to scare Spirit Breaker back. Walrus Punch on Psycho God. Spirit Breaker should survive, though, as that's still level 1. Kim Jong will go down, but he's got the Aegis, so he's coming right back up. Jesse and the crew have to be careful because he's going to come back with a vengeance. And no ultimate, though, so he may actually find himself in some serious trouble. Caught with Cogs and an Ice Shard, Kim Jong will give up a kill. This is going to be a good amount of gold off of that kill.
Eric's as well here pretty soon, or rather, already one down.
Psycho God TP's out to safety.
Pudge is still hanging around. He's going to get this AA again. Look at it right here. There it is, and
oh no. Poor guy.
He had no mana even. The poor A still was out there without even enough mana to throw Cold Feet down defensively, right?
He's just trying so hard to use the Midas.
It's...
And get
I said it during the draft. AA is not a good hero to have up against Pudge in most cases because he is a hero that needs level, so he is squishy and often by himself. It just doesn't work out very well against the Pudge. Granted, the Cold Feet is a pretty decent spell to be casting on a Pudge. It does stop off that Blink Dagger, and it also interrupts the Dismember, potentially. But the fact that that Pudge can just get Flesh Eat Sap after Flesh Eat Sap, right, off of this AA really hurts.
Yeah, well, and he's at 18 right now, so 45 bonus damage, not too shabby, as he looks like he wants to get another pick off, has the Invis Rune, just waiting for Alchemist, and goes with the hook, gets the grab. Alchemist will drop down.
Perfect timing. He waited for that ultimate then, too.
I know, right?
He knows what he's doing, and
Yeah,
he's got the team to back him up now. You notice that every time a maybe sort of risky play comes out of that punch, the Spirit Breaker's already charging.
Well, he's super confident. He's super confident, too, with his hooks, because I would say traditionally you'd see a player with an Invis Rune in that Alchemist situation just walk up and engage for the simple shot. But instead, he was confident enough in his angles that he was like, easy hook, extra damage, burn him down, and did it perfectly.
Yeah, it's a well, he missed that hook, and that was a hook that I would have expected him to land, to be honest. But he's been making so many. His hook accuracy has to be above 80%, which is just stellar. Just stellar.
So it's Kim Jong and the rest of the crew wants to go. Venom gets another hook. Jesse's like, oh, snows, where am I? He's going to have to run like the Dickens. Beavis going to get hit by the ultimate, but he goes for the charge anyway. Ends up charging some creeps instead of the Xenos King. Backs away. Venom going in deep. Says, you don't have any towers. I'm not afraid. Catches almost full of 4K. Here comes the roll. He backs himself up, but that puts Tusk in a dangerous position. Kim Jong, like a race car, decides not even to engage, runs right through his enemies and goes straight for the bottom tower. Jesse gonna get slowed down. Nice play, and the hook to finish the job so that you find death outside of base as Venom continues to play the outside while Kim Jong-il plays the inside. Sext in some trouble. There's the blink, goes ahead, pops up, gets the ultimate burning rot to the teardown, and comes a nice shard, but too little too late as Venom gets the finish. Buyback from the Tusk. In comes the ultimate for Xenos King, who's going to feed himself to the Venom again. Kim Jong does ultimately go down at the back end of this. Derek in a little bit of trouble, going to roll after Sight God, but they switched off. Jesse wants to try to finish Derek. Going to come out with the ice shards. Derek should give his life for this, but that's two for a wonderful exchange. Venom actually goes back to try and take himself a Rax. Blinks to safety as Jesse TPs in to stop him. And that's going to be they got the melee racks and the tower up here. They got the melee racks and the tower on the bottom. Beavis trying to finish this ranged racks. Can he do it? Going to get the stun and the walrus punch. And now he's got to run to try to get himself away. Pops the Shadow Blade. Do they have vision? Oh, the hook rescue, but the hook shot to try and close the deal. Ancient Apparition going to miss as Spirit Breaker does have to run away. Venom may actually give his life for the rescue. Had he let Spirit Breaker die, he would have lived. Good guy Venom. Not going to be allowed to deny this time. Godlike streak ends, and 1.1k gold goes to Matau for killing him.
Yeah, and that's not including the AoE gold, right? That kill by itself was worth 2,085 gold in total to the various members. That's almost 1,200 to the killer, and about 300 apiece to everybody who was around.
Yeah. I will say though, if we don't, we're probably going to game 3, right?
Oh yeah, Radiant, despite how questionably this game is going, has not pre-planned against Megas. They don't have anybody with a Maelstrom or Mjolnir or even a Battle Fury, so they don't really have the tools they need in order to survive this onslaught.
So they're going to try their best, but all they're going to do is lose racks to the creeps, basically, coming out of... I mean, what are they? Lycan's just tearing them to shreds. They're almost out of racks. They're going to have Megas, like you said, in just a minute. Game should be over. So we're probably going to 3, and I will be blown away if I don't see a respect band come out on that Pudge in the first or second slot in the next game.
Yeah, well, remember the first game, it really didn't work out for them. The Pudge was mechanically very skilled, but he ended up throwing away so many kills that arguably, I would say, he was one of the contributing factors to the loss.
True.
So I think a big part of this victory has been the aggressive carry of the Lycan that's able to engage and capitalize on the space. It's been the aggressive Spirit Breaker.
The Spirit Breaker, I think you're right. That Spirit Breaker coming into the assist has been phenomenal. Beavis...
Not to take away from how amazing Venom has been playing. He has been playing very, very, very well. But it's more than just the Pudge.
I think what we're getting at is Venom was just as good in the last game, but lacked the follow-up to close the deal. Whereas in this game, every time that he's landed a superb hook, either a fight is pulling them away so that they cannot rescue the hooked victim, or the entire team is closing the gap very quickly to make sure that Venom has any backup that he needs.
Right.
And that's been really, really pretty. Venom, by the way, now has an Octarine core on him and is looking for more hooks and more fun.
And
there it is.
Oh.
Jesse goes in with the charge, packs right by Jesse. As Spirit Breaker goes past, Jesse is going to go down, but he's got nowhere to go as the rest of the team's going to close the distance. Jesse on the run. Ice Blast goes the long way around, doesn't actually hit anybody as he forgets to suit it off. Might have got stunned. I'm not really sure why he didn't engage that. Beavis wants to make the dive. We lost Tusk. Fight continues. Xenos King in some trouble now. Sex in some trouble as well as Beavis takes some damage from the towers, has to back away because he got stunned by the Alchemist. The GG comes out as it's a 5-man wipe to wrap this baby up. Gold lead ends over 20,000 XP at 12. And it was really a beautiful game, not just on the back of great Venom hooks, but on the back of CMU playing very well as a team and showing us the way that this draft was meant to be done. My name's Tops. You can find me at Toffees TV. I'm joined by Gorgon the Wonder Cow, my co-caster here every Tuesday and Thursday night. You can find him at the Wonder Cow over on Twitter. Make sure you check out cstarleague.com for the new banner competition that allows you to win 5 Razer headsets. Guys, we got one more game tonight, so stick around. Don't go anywhere, as it's going to be matchup 3 to determine the big winner between CMU and Rochester Institute of Technology. We're going to play some music and hang out in Twitch chat till that starts. But as always, Toffee's out.
Nothing's ever felt this right. Crossing the earth by your side. No, nothing's ever felt this way before. And nothing's ever felt this real. For something I don't always feel. No, nothing's ever felt this way before. Is this real? Is this happening or a beautiful dream I haven't woken up from? Nothing's ever felt this right. Crossing the earth by your side. No, nothing's ever felt this way before. Nothing's ever felt this real. For something I don't always feel. No, nothing's ever felt this way before. Is this real? Is this happening or a beautiful dream I haven't woken up from? Is this real? Is this happening or a beautiful dream I haven't woken up from?
Good evening and welcome back to Game 3 of the Rochester Institute of Technology Tigers versus the CMU, the Carnegie Mellon University scenario, boys. This is a matchup for the ages. It's the third round of the night. First game went to Rochester, second to CMU, and now we look at the third. It's looking cheesy. Gorgon, as I'm joined here, guys, by the way, by my co-caster Gorgon the Wonder Cow. You can find him at the Wonder Cow over on the Twitter. But that said, they didn't ban the Pudge. They let it go through. They picked him up first, and then they grabbed a what? Broodmother.
Yeah, an early Broodmother to go into that Pudge is definitely an interesting strategy. Basically, the idea here is Pudge will open up so much space that the Broodmother can split push with impunity.
I mean, that's what they did with the Lycan, right? I mean, similar idea.
It is a similar idea. The Lycan is much more able to initiate into team fights alongside the Pudge than the Broodmother will end up being.
But Broodmother has 6 eyes.
That is very true. She does have compound vision.
So
I'm not sure how that's relevant, but it's not an untrue statement to make.
As we all know, she gets about 16 extra units of uphill vision because of the height of the compound eyes. Other than that, though, it doesn't have a huge difference. Marana going to get picked up by CMU now as well. So CMU going for skill shot and split push. Rochester going good old-fashioned Tusk, Lina, Darkseer.
Yeah, they're also going to pick up a Winter Wyvern here. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. Works great against the Broodmother. It's a good way to hold the Pudge down. It's a good way to escape, and just generally pairs well with both Tusk and Darkseers. I don't see any reason to not pick up that Wyvern. And then they'd have to pick up a pretty hard carry, it looks like, because at this stage in the game, it looks like CMU scenario are going to... Sven is a pretty hard carry. I'm surprised they picked that first before their next support.
Yeah, definitely. CMU definitely looks. What did you tell me in Twitch or in private chat? You said I'm expecting to see some fondue in this game.
Yeah, I know. This is going to be a fondue fountain of a game because that's what CMU likes to do.
Is that what you're seeing? Is this fondue enough for you?
It's getting there. They need. What did I tell you? I wanted to see. I wanted to see OD. So Outworld Devourer, Elder Titan, Silencer as a combo, right? Just to go straight out of the meta with something. They do have a pretty decently pairing combo here, a very aggressive pair. Marana, a hero that this time last year would have still been the most popular hero of that year. So very valuable, the most valuable hero in 2014. We basically never see her anymore, so I love to see somebody picking her up and giving her a chance at the limelight.
Definitely. Now, what do you I was gonna say, what are you looking for in the CMU last pick? But I don't even know anymore.
There's going to be a support.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Unless to support Marana.
Oh, it is a support Marana, but I think it's going to be an offlane Undying.
But that doesn't give them a lot of late game. Do you think they just want to
I
push fast?
I don't think they're going for very much late game here. To be honest, they might get something. Yeah, they probably need some sort of. I don't know. I think it's going to be support. I'm trying to think what fits. They could pick up something like a Bane in order to try and kite the Sven, but there's a lot of ways to interrupt that ultimate. So maybe a Lion could be very good here, or a Wind Ranger support, or a Wind Ranger offlane with Undying as support in an aggressive try. That could also be good.
For the record, I do want to throw this out there while we're talking. At the draft phase, and this should be said, that CMU was, because of their position in the draft and in this game, was given the opportunity to pick
support. Probably.
To pick first. They were allowed to pick first pick or side their choice, and they deferred the choice to Rochester. So a big show of bravado on the side of CMU to say, Rochester, you can have pick or side. We are confident either way. And they ended up with
CMU. They're all about the mind games.
Dude, these guys they bring swagger. There's no doubt about that. The question is, in this game, will they be able to back it up?
Okay, so the Ember Spirit play means that this is a support Lina, a mid-Ember Spirit, offlane Darkseer, roaming Tusk, and a farming Sven. The Ember Spirit pairs with that Darkseer fairly well. You do get the damage coming out of the Flame Guard, along with an Ion Shell. And, of course, later on in the game, you have the Vacuum into the Sleight of Fist with the Battle Furies. All of that said, I don't know that the Ember Spirit's the pick here. It means that they're probably going to end up going in pretty late. It means that they are going to have a Sven that is vulnerable to kiting, although the Darkseer will take care of some of that issue. It does mean that they're not going to be able to engage too early into this Pudge, and as we've seen, that Pudge does like to open up a ton of opportunity. So I am unsure the route to which Rochester goes to win this, other than just kind of try and keep head above water for a certain amount of time.
Venom's in Twitch chat just smack talking left and right. Somebody said right before the game started, is it over? To which he responded, just about to be. And just started the game by saying, game starting, see you in 15 minutes. So a little bit of smack talk. We're going to call him out on it. So CMU puts it out there.
And see him now. Look,
yeah.
He's gone. He
So,
ran
but
away.
We're gonna say it. We're gonna say Venom has called this. He said 15 minutes to the win. Let's see if CMU can live up to the bravado that they bring to the table. That said, let's do some quick introductions while we have the benefit of this Carnegie Mellon versus Rochester Institute of Technology pause. For RIT on Zediah's side, we will be having Jess playing the Norseman. I just assume he's Norse. Sven. We're going to have Lena, played by Xenos King. We're going to have the Ember Spirit, rocked out by Sex as he chases down that Lena. We're going to have Matau 32 playing the Tusk. And last but certainly not least, the Darkseer will be played by Almost Below 4K.
All right, and moving down here for the Radiant side, we have Disconnected Venom trying to make his opponent sick on the Pudge. He's got his ally Kim Jong-il bugging out on the Broodmother. Sight God is calling the shots on Marana. Beavis is walking around on the Undying, and Derek Yan is playing that Necrophos.
So, just, while we've got not a lot going on, I was looking at the Radiant side. I'm trying to do the cool, zoom in vision while you do the introduction stuff.
Yeah, the discotheque rave zoom in and out. That's what I like to do.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're doing.
Except that I kept clicking on the Venom answer, being like, God, who's playing Venom? But apparently
because it's a courier.
It's the courier.
I see from not interview or not interaction mode. That didn't even register to me.
Yeah.
What the bloody hell you were talking about?
Interaction mode. I mean, he just looks like a very interesting, very short Venomancer cosmetic. So intriguing. It should be a pretty good game though. What are you looking forward to seeing out of this one?
I am looking forward to seeing whether this Broodmother has any impact on the game at all, because there are a lot of counters to her, and I'm not really sure how she goes about handling this. So this is going to be a true test of this Broodmother's skill. And remember, Broodmother is a hero that I'm backed by stats, but it's a controversial call. I don't think she's a good hero. I think that she is a very, very strong, extremely situational hero, and anytime outside of that situation, she just ends up losing games.
I also think, and this may be a controversial opinion as well, that in order to be played well, she has a significantly higher skill cap than a lot of people give her credit for. By the way, smoke rotation from Dire is going to come around and find themselves some Beavis below 4K in the lead. Beavis now on the run. Derek in the trees. There's the Ice Shard to catch Beavis. The hook on the Darkseer. They just want to try to kill him before Beavis goes down. They're not going to be able to do it. Beavis does drop the Tombstone, though. That's going to put out a lot of damage on the Dire. Derek is sticking in pretty deep here. Looked like he wanted to try to get a heal off. He is going to get hit by Lena as Dire will back away. In comes the Ice Shards defensively. Derek still making the chase. Venom trying to see if he can find a good place for a hook, and this might be it. He's waiting for his chance. Wants the shot on Jesse. That's what he's hoping for. So it looks like he's not going to take it. He's just going to head to mid lane, try to save some of that mana.
Great play by that the Tusk, knowing the Pudge was probably looking for the hook there. Kind of positioned himself all Secret Service-y just to the south of Jesse to make sure that hook was not possible.
Yeah, so Jesse's support has definitely got it going on, as he did a great job of keeping him alive.
Yeah, it was very well played, all things considered. This is going to be the aggressive tri-lane that I had called out during the draft. It is going to be, that means the defensive Broodmother into a Darkseer. That's not the best lane for a Broodmother. Ion Shell will help take care of a lot of her Spiderlings, but it's definitely better than the alternative of going 1v3 into Sven's Cleave.
All right, let's go look at the top lane, where Jesse is going up against Beavis and Derek Ryan with a little bit of help from his friends. Xenos King and Matau going to be on standby to make sure that he stays up. This is going to be a lot of harass, and Derek is going to have a little bit of a hard time getting last hits here, as he doesn't have the greatest right-click range in the world. Down the bottom, we're going to have below 4K, the answer to Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong going to have a hard time, I think, up against this Darkseer.
I don't think this is going to be a very good lane for her at all. and I don't expect a lot out of her. Although, if she does end up getting... Oh, just a casual kill, Ember Spirit. Mirana was smoked
What?
up, and she was smoked up here and waiting for the arrow.
Nice.
I just didn't realize that she had already launched it. So
Very nice play. Good rotation. Fast kill. As Venom starts off this game right at 2. Stack's coming back to lane. Going to try to keep the fight going here. He should have an advantage against this Venom, I would say, the Ember Spirit.
you know, I would disagree with you.
Really?
Yeah, I would, and we'll see why probably in a minute. But remember, Hook is pure damage.
True.
So Flame Guard does not defend against it, and Ember Spirit is not superbly fast, right? So he does not have Fire Remnants at this stage in the game. Inside the rot, he is not faster than Pudge is. So one hook and it's all over basically.
Speaking of rotations, here they come. Xenos King's going to head down towards that mid position. Looks like they want to try to put some control on Pudge. Pudge went for the hook. Did not get it, and he will back away. And the supports say, well, he knows we're here. Guess we're gone. Meanwhile, down the bottom, it looks like Darkseer continue to harass. Mirana has returned to try to help Broodmother out in lane, but Kim Jong taking so much gosh darn damage. Got to be careful on that play. As below 4K doing a lot with that Ion Shell, already 2 points into it. Kim Jong's got to back away, eating tangos desperately, but not having a lane that he would hope to have here. How much does that affect the potential for CMU to take this game, being that Broodmother's just essentially getting shut down here on the bottom lane?
It depends on if this rotation ends with the Sacred Arrow kill or not. There's the arrow. It will not land. That creep just in the way. There's no way they get this kill now. So if they're able to turn this around in one of these rotations and make sure that Darkseer is forced back a bit, get that Broodmother just a hint of experience advantage over that Darkseer, then she should be able to kind of at least keep her head above water. If she can't do that, then it's going to entirely be up to the Pudge to open up space for her to catch up. And that's a dangerous game to be playing.
Kim doing a good job of just making life miserable for this Broodmother, trying to work a little bit behind the scenes, keep the creeps on her favor, but immediately he comes back with the Ion Shell, a ton of damage. Beavis going to chase here on Xenos King, who has to drop back. Nice Sentry Ward from the Dire. Going to come through. Ice Shards will catch Beavis, but he's able to walk around down on the outside. I thought he was going to get trapped.
Just barely miscalculated that. Really nice try out of that Tusk.
That's an insanely tough spell to sort of calculate that level of block.
Right, and I mean, we're talking a bracket of 100 units that he was trying to play.
Kim Jong does come in, wants to go on almost below 4K. He's got to be careful. The shards come from the far side. They miss Kim Jong. Now Psycho comes in to help out, but Tusk on the run. He gets the surge, wants to make the wraparound, but gets blocked by the creeps exceptionally well. And once again, that Spider able to just barely slip out of a potential death. They did, however, leave Sext in the mid to be farming by himself as Pudge rotates down to fill up that bottle, and that could spell some trouble for Ember as he rotates back. Derek Yan chasing Xenos. Xenos getting pretty low, and Jesse going to fall back to defend. Here they go. Nice hook on Sex. Sex gets caught inside. He's got Flame Guard running. Rot's running. Venom in some trouble. Flame Guard's very strong right now, and Sex will be able to back away. Venom going to heal back up as Psycho God rotates around, wants to get the stun, doesn't have no mana to get the arrow up as it is on cooldown. The Mango's not going to be helpful with 6 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, so Venom not quite to the level advantage that he would want right now. The last hits are going the way of the Ember Spirit, and the rotations kind of stopped coming here for Venom. So I think this Mirana kind of needs to stay nearby and get ready to rotate.
Work out. Oh, almost. Yeah, he finishes the job. So that is a big play for Broodmother. Gets a nice little kill on Tusk, who's out of position. That's going to be a huge benefit for him. Puts him almost all the way to level 6, and that's what happens. Darkseer leads for a minute, and Kim Jong capitalizes on getting himself that kill. So nicely done. Meanwhile, up on top, Jesse getting pushed back by Beavis, who is playing very aggressively on this lane with a little bit of help from Derek.
Yeah, it happens to be one of the only heroes that in the early game can't really handle the Broodmother that is on this team. When he gets left alone against the Broodmother, that was kind of silly decision making.
Over in the mid, we saw Lena go down to Venom, who got another nice hook off. Sex comes in to help out, but not getting there in time. And now Venom playing very aggressively, pushes him back with that rot. Sex, yeah, he does. Sex does have the Flame Guard up now, so he's going to try to keep that timed well for engaging Venom. Dodges the arrow and makes a nice jump past Venom to finish the job. Had that arrow hit, that's why Venom was playing so far forward, but it ends up backfiring, and Sex gets the kill and walks away.
Yeah, just really good awareness coming out of Sext. And he did, of course, also have general vision of this area where that arrow was launched from, so he knew exactly what was going on.
All right, let's look at that top lane where Derek's still going head-to-head with Jesse. To take a look at the last hits before we switch over to total net worth. 40 and 4, that Darkseer doing a great job down the bottom. A lot of that coming from spiders that he is able to annihilate with his ion shells. 30 and 6 for the Necrophos. We're looking up top. There they move on Matau. Matau should be able to get out of that, no problem.
But Xenos King is not going to be able to. A good hook by Venom.
So, right? I'm tired of saying that already.
Well, get used to it. Because
Yeah,
I think we're going to be
can you
saying...
not?
We're
Like-
either going to be saying a lot of good hook by Venom or, ooh, that hook was questionable by Venom for the rest of this game. He's already in the mode where he's going to be aggressively positioning.
Yeah, you know, we ribbed them a little bit about it in the lobby. The idea that Venom was doing this. Oh, this is going to be a dead Venom.
Questionable play by Venom, as we were mentioning.
Yep. So, but we were mentioning the idea that maybe they're trying their best to make future teams who play them waste bans on the
Oh, it's
Pudge.
100% what they're doing. There's no way they
Right.
do this. Because, okay, so Venom is obviously a good Pudge, right? But Pudge inherently does not fit into a lot of lineups that this team is going to try to be playing at a competitive level. So it's in their best interest for teams to be scared of that Pudge and ban that Pudge. Because even though they have a really good Pudge player, he doesn't necessarily do more than
It
other.
actually, it reminds me a lot of when Leviathan first sort of came onto the North American scene.
Oh yeah, Jenkins.
And
just
Jenkins
spammed
had
the hell out of Pudge.
and had a huge Pudge, forced a lot of teams. And if you remember, for about a month and a half there, in the lead up to a lot of big qualifiers,
Including the internationals.
including internationals, their opponents were regularly banning Pudge, even though they had no real desire to run Pudge in those competitive matches.
No, well, bear in mind that was for Team Leviathan. If you rank them like chess players with Elo, Pudge was the hero that gave them the most Elo positive game. Like that in terms of effective win-loss game, Jenkins Pudge was the best Pudge in the world at that time.
Right.
By far.
I mean, he and you know, pioneering a lot of great things, including some of that farm technique that we saw
Up
from Pudge
top.
being popular. But up on top, we're going to pause that as Matau gets caught by Venom. Venom goes in, gets the finish. Derek Ling going to come in and get that shot with his ultimate. Xenos King on the run. Venom closing. Sex decides instead to go for the Necro. Isn't going to get him. They finish off the Lena and now rotate around. If Sex chooses to chase this, Venom could make him pay. Derek's going to turn around. He does come up, gets up this lock. Nice save on Derek as he gets to safety. The Searing Chain's strong, but the hook stronger.
Yeah, that
Psycho
double
Gods.
damage on Ember Spirit could have been a kill.
Psycho
and
God
still
does
maybe
get
might
stunned.
be a
Here's the
kill.
wraparound from Jesse. Stunned backs. They will probably get 4K. You know, he doesn't have enough mana for his ulti, so he's going for the rot kill. Will almost finish, and it goes 1 for 1. So Venom will go down. Figured he could try to get the kill and maybe finish with the deny, but it does not pan out that time around. We end up with a 2 for 3, I believe, across the board up on top.
I like the dinner plate eyes coming out of CMU, really taking out big
Yeah.
bites out of this game. I don't know that they can fit it all in their mouths, though. They are trading in some pretty heavy losses for only okay games.
Now, this is good for Kim Jong down the bottom. Well, maybe not the fact that he's got dust on him, he's got to run now, but that he was able to take that tower, right? Because it allows him to motivate his push into a new area that's going to be I think, a lot stronger for him in terms of split push. There's more escapability there on that side of the river because he's not limited by this area. So I really like the fact that he got through that tower. It lets him get back on track, and it's going to cause a lot of pressure because at level 8, having those rings up and running, Kim Jong's going to start to become a real issue. Meanwhile, Ember Spirit over in the mid position, caught again by Venom. And I think that was a Psych God combo for the stun. So stun, hook, and death is the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, once again, Ember Spirit just can't really be alone in this mid lane. Maybe in the top lane where he has a bit more safety, but definitely not down there in the mid where he can get hit by a Sacred Arrow from either side or a hook from 3 sides. It's just not safe. It looks like she missed the arrow according to the combat log, but they didn't even need it.
Didn't even need, and they kill him so fast, like half the time as the camera's moving, they go ahead and take the pick off. It's pretty mind-blowing. CMU, by the way, has had a jagged spike, a flare, if you will, up to 2,000 gold in the terms of the net worth. We're going to flip over to the overall net worth stack for you guys to take a look at. Venom, by the way, chasing Jesse, closes the gap, doesn't even go for the hook, starts out with the Dismember, and that'll be enough to finish Jesse off. Down he goes. Oh no, here they come. Big rotation. Matau and Sex wants to come in. We're going to see the ulti from Marana, but that should be the end of Venom as there's enough AoE from... Is there? No,
Why didn't he deny? He could have
should,
denied there with the rot.
So the Flame Guard, just too much damage for that with the Ion Shell. The AoE, even though the Invis was good, was not good enough. Derek Ryan getting pinged. They're going to try to make this happen. Coming in very aggressively, searing chains. Nice blink to safety. Beavis pops the ultimate, runs for the safety of the tower, and they do both get away. So Sven goes down for a Pudge. Actually, not a bad trade in terms of Sven's that hard carry. He's what they need to kind of keep off the push here. And that will also allow space for Kim Jong-il on the bottom to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah. This is what we were talking about during the draft, right? This is really what they wanted to do. Open up as much space for the Broodmother to just kind of rat. The question is he ratting fast enough? Is he doing enough?
Right.
He's obviously doing as much as he possibly can, given the amount of space that he's being given. I'm not sure right now if that's enough space, and he could even die to the Sven.
Yeah, Jesse went up to 3 points in his Great Cleave and is going to utilize that to push him back. He takes him and his fighters and says, F you, I'm going home. Heads back into his jungle to wait for that Sven to depart. Dire, by the way, does have a nice sentry ward up here. They've got another minute about on that, keeping an eye on things as well as some decent vision wards to let them know where their opponents are. CMU still, though, in a pretty commanding position. 2,000 gold to the better. XP is dead even. However, Ember Spirit's farm is worth noting. 5k net worth, so almost 1,000 ahead of his nearest opponent at the Necrophos at 4. He does have his drums up and 1,000 sitting in the bank. So where's that courier headed right now? Nowhere, okay.
It's headed home.
Headed
That's
home.
where it's headed.
So,
all right.
Sext in a position to kind of come online here in a little while. Is it going to be fast enough to deal with CMU's forward push? Because the late game definitely favors RIT. Are they going to be able to get there? 12 minutes into the game, what do you think?
I think so. I don't think that the Pudge is moving quite fast enough. Although he is trying. He's going to split the wickets on that one.
Splits the wickets, but Sight God could be in some trouble. Nice play with the Necrophos. Vacuum's going to come in, but it's not going to be fast enough. Run, baby, run! The Speed Racer's on his way. Venom's trying to close the gap. Needs to get in there for the hook. Can he do it? Very smart positioning to try and make it happen. They end up finishing the job anyways. Derek's got himself a Blink Dagger. This guy loves Blink Daggers, and it is paying off for him. He will go down, but remember, he is... He's playing that support Necrophos, right? So not the end of the world. Now we do see Undying drop. That's not going to work out. We do see Sex on the chase. He's got Searing or Flame Guard going, but it's almost out. Gets a nice stun up on Venom, going for the TP. It will not come fast enough, and they get a triple kill. So for all of the good that Necrophos did on the Blink, they're unable to convert that into additional benefit. Now we're going to see the guys from RIT head to the bottom to try and take this tower to slow down the annoyance that has been this Broodmother. Now she sees Jesse, sees an opportunity, wants to go. Whoa! Boom! An explosion of gold that just rolls towards the Sven.
Yeah, and so this is the issue, right? They don't need to get out way ahead, which is good for them, because anytime the Broodmother is going to be kind of split pushing, either Sven or Ember Spirit can make massive gold out of those spiderlings if she's not absolutely perfectly microing them. In terms of the overall push coming out of CMU, they don't have much other than the Broodmother's split push, which means this mid tier 1 is probably pretty safe. This top tier 2 is probably pretty safe. So this area, these 3 camps and the Ancients, will more than likely remain relatively accessible for the Dire side for quite some time. So when you're asking me, is CMU out ahead far enough to kind of shut down that Ember Spirit? It doesn't seem so, especially since he does have his boots of travel now, so he can be safely zipping across the entire map, even outside of what would typically be considered safe range for farm.
Right. All right, so let's take a look at some items while we kind of run through this pause, as both teams seem to be out of engagement range of each other. We've got a mech finished up on the Darkseer for RIT. Sven does have a Morbid Mask, and I assume he'll have a MOM coming up pretty soon here, Boots of Travel. On the Ember Spirit to go alongside of that, Drums of Endurance. And on the upside for CMU, not a ton, to be honest, as they've had a little bit of trouble continuing to hold that lead. They lost 1,000 gold net worth in that last fight. And they're pretty much just sitting on their starting stuff. Blink on the Necrophos, but that's about it. Now, 6.1k is the farm in the pocket of that Ember Spirit, and with his Boots of Travel on, it's just going to get worse.
Yeah. Pudge is having trouble getting his Blink Dagger up as well, and if there's one thing that we've seen coming out of Venom, is that he really, for better or worse, utilizes extremely aggressive Blink hook combos. Whether or not that Blink is going to lead him to more kills or just faster deaths, I'm not sure. One game was one game was another, right? but him not having it is really hurting his ability to make sure that he's getting optimal positioning for the decisions that he does make.
Definitely. All right, so gold is, like we said, 1,000. XP is actually in the favor of RIT by the opposite of margin of 1,500. And now the big hook comes in. They do manage to catch Sex. They're going to go ahead and put the ulti on him. Beavis drops the tombstone just to get some extra damage, but it's not going to be enough. So tombstone is down with nothing to spawn those skeletons, and now this could be a little bit of trouble.
That was a optimistic tombstone, is what I'll say. It doesn't really add any damage. Presumably what he was hoping, I expect there, right? His reasonable train of thought was maybe the Ember Spirit doesn't have a remnant, and his remnants go out at the same speed that Ember Spirit has, movement speed. So the tombstone would slow his movement speed, and then that remnant wouldn't go as far, so he couldn't escape. I assume that was the thought process there. But once again, very optimistic to think that he would be out so far and not have a defensive remnant.
At the end of the day, it's off in 15 seconds. It's not that big of a loss. Then I'm going to come around looking for some fun. In comes a shard for some scouting, so now we know a little bit of where they are. I'm sorry, for zoning. And Venom will decide it's not worth sticking around. I like this sentry ward system that Dire is working with here, where if you have 2 sentry wards, it actually gives you the ability to see things in a wider radius. No, I have no idea why you would justify that. Little miscommunication there, maybe.
Yeah, probably just a miscommunication.
Unless there was an obs ward somewhere very cheeky that was just...
Even if there was, how would they know, right?
Fair. Good point.
So I think it was... And they have the exact same timers, so presumably that was a Moonlight Shadow reaction. Somebody trying to kill the Pudge up there, maybe.
I do want to point out, we're at 15 minutes into the game right now.
Yeah, Broodmother's around the Roche pit. Will lose all of her spiderlings in one more stomp, though, so I don't think she's actually going to be able to take this. 6 seconds, she's going to lose the bulk of her spiderlings.
You pull the spiders
Maybe
out
not.
and bring it back in.
Oh, she's doing all right, actually. Nope, there we go.
See ya, spiders. Meanwhile, up on top, Venom goes ahead, charges on almost below 4K, in some trouble. He's gonna get caught, but Watro, he gets the vacuum combo down before he goes down, so he gives his life for the price of 2. Now Beavis on the run, but Jesse wants to make a chase, decides that he doesn't, he stopped for creeps, and that may actually let Beavis get out. Nope, the stun's there, this will finish the job, so Jesse actually stopped for some last hits, and it paid off as he still managed to go ahead and get the kill. They go ahead and finish the tombstone. Xenos King low, has to watch out for this TP coming in. They stun immediately. Derek could be in some trouble from the back. The walrus punch to the face. CMU finds themselves at the mercy of RIT in the mid lane right now. Their strategy not panning out. Kim Jong goes and gets himself a new pack of spiders and gets an instant stomp from the Roshan.
He'll always get an instant stomp from Roshan with that many units. The Roshan will instantly stomp as soon as 3 units come within contact of a space. That's how it works. It also works for Centaurs.
So why not bring three units in and leave the spiders outside for a minute?
That is a good way to handle it. Yeah, you throw 3 spiderlings in at Roshan, he stomps on that, then you get 10 seconds before the first stomp, and you end up getting a full 10 seconds additional out. But that's not what he's doing, right?
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Right. So he's still struggle busing through this Roshan.
And
he's not going to be able to get it on this batch either, it doesn't look like. Well, maybe. Now he's down to 3 units. No, the stomp is there.
He's got insatiable hunger up, though, so he can...
Okay, yeah, there we go. He will have to blow his ult for it. Okay.
The Roche fighting a tooth and nail, man. You cannot have my Aegis.
A 3.5 minute Aegis.
He paused for a second.
While his team gets team wiped.
Right.
And he has no infrastructure anywhere on the map that he could split push, because he can't really split push this bottom.
Worth noting, by the way, from the time that he started the Roche to the bot to the time that he finished it, the net worth went from 2,000 to 1,000 in his opponent's favor. That's about a 3 minute.
A 3,000 gold loss for that Aegis. And what does he do with it? Because he doesn't team fight with it. He's going to try to split push with it, but then he's alone, which means that he could die twice, right? The Aegis doesn't actually give him anything. If anything, that's an Aegis denial to the Dire side, right? It doesn't actually seem to give very much to this Broodmother in terms of general usefulness.
Derek and the crew pushing. They actually bring Krim Jong to the middle because he took the two towers, top and bottom. Meanwhile, we see Pudge get a nice hook on Xenos King. Xenos King, who had a hard go of things with Venom in the last game, gets to run smack dab into him again. Meanwhile, up on top, we're going to see Jesse try to push the top tower. And the guys from CMU will be happy with that. They'll say, all right, you try to push the top tower. We're going to keep on going. They got a bunch of spiders up from that little push, and they're going to lay into this tower as fast as they possibly can. Top tower gets glyphed to buy even more space, and they've already got it down to half. So this tower should drop. If they use a glyph against it, they're even happier. So CMU is going to be happy with that glyph usage. In comes 4K. Nice vacuum into wall. He's in a little bit of trouble as the spiders go for the big chase. Jesse says, tasty gold, and goes after those. Buys a little bit of space for CMU to try to back away. Beavis stays in a bit too deep, gets caught with the dust. Was trying to save the tombstone, maybe a little bit too long. Beavis will go down as he's left behind with the rest of his team.
Why? Why? So he stayed there. I don't know if you caught what he stayed there to do. He stayed there to throw a soul rip on the Ember Spirit while Flame Guard was running. So he did 0 damage. And he just kind of hung around to do that. And now the Broodmother, not going to be seen. No gem or anything, fortunately.
The dust was used, but it was used over here, so it's just outside of range.
Or that was smoke. That wasn't dust.
That was smoke. I'm sorry. Good point.
Yeah.
Ips.
But fortunately, it was just outside of range of being revealed by the Broodmother, so that would have been bad news for her. She is trapped, and now she's going to die at least once, maybe twice. She does have allies.
Oh, snap!
She's still dead.
Yeah, still dead.
Maybe not.
No, I think she gets away. Venom may pay the price, though. Another massive vacuum. Darkseer's been on fire in this game. His vacuum walls have been huge. Here's the chase, though. Kim Jong still going to get caught, and after all is given, 2 lives and everything that they had to keep that Broodmother alive, she's going to come back up with the Aegis. She gets stunned, headed back towards the trees. They don't have any vision right now, so she will somehow manage to survive after it's all done.
So, cost an Aegis and 2 heroes.
Worth noting, by the way, that they only have, I think, 1 dust carrier on the team right now. So had she just been allowed to go down to that Tusk inside of his ice shards instead of the hook out, she would have popped back up and just disappeared.
Lena's got dust too.
Oh, do they have a second dust carrier?
Yeah, and she's also got a sentry ward. They probably could have killed her.
That's
there,
fair.
To be honest.
That's fair. But you know, I still would prefer to keep my other 2 heroes alive.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, look at this. Never mind. I'm going to come back to that because this is going to be.
Below 4K is about to be below 6 feet as he's knocked unconscious by Venom and sent back to base. So a good kill, but at this rate, is it going to be enough? Because RIT really seems to be in a strong position. 1,000 gold up, an XP up of 4,000, but the push continues. Ceaseless push by CMU as they continue to try to take out this tier 2. Meanwhile, on the bottom, the creeps are going to put in some work on their tier 2. But the creep's clearly not as fast as Kim Jong is at taking towers.
This is such a bummer position to be in if you're CMU. This is the sort of strategy that you want to already have at least 1 lane of supers.
Yeah.
Because they're basically what they're going to have to do here. And there's not a lot of other ways around it. Is that they're just going to have to throw units and chip away at this tower. And that's just going to give more and more gold and more experience to their opponents.
Jesse does get hooked. Nice hook there to pull out Matau. That's going to buy him a little bit of space. Meanwhile, though, on the top lane, Sext is going to be pushing this tower at the same time. Should see a TP back from him soon. Jesse going to go in, gets caught by the Lena stun. Big finger on Kim Jong, but she gets hooked out, so Venom will finish the job there. Derek going to back away. We see 4K coming, gets a big vacuum to finish off the Necrophos. Necrophos will go down. It's a 2 for 2, but the buyback from the Tusk to make sure that they do not push up any further. The top tower, for tier 2, for Radiant survives. On the bottom, the tier 2 is up as well. Now the chase is on. Walrus punch to Beavis' head. Beavis is isolated and alone. They're just going to have to leave him. In comes Stone to secure the kill, and that'll be a triple. And like you said, CMU's just trying to chip, but RIT's just, when they bring in the crew, they're just too strong.
Yeah, I don't see this going any other way, to be honest. So they're going to get a Pudge hook or 2 every one of these times. When Necro gets Ags up, which is a long way away, if this game lasts that long, honestly, they probably already lost. But if Necro did have an Ags up or manages to get an Ags up somehow here, then those hook kills can eliminate a player for 70 seconds guaranteed.
Right.
That might give them, with the right hook, that could give them the opening to take the high ground. But they really just needed to break high ground earlier. And we're only at 23 minutes into this game, but we're already to that point where coulda, shoulda, woulda is starting to break into the mentality of these teams.
Venom does get pinged out. Xenos King has to be careful here, but in comes Darkseer. They're going to try to collapse on him from 2 sides. They have vision all over the place. Try for the tree vacuum. Actually, a really nice play. Here's the blink from Jesse, though. Catches Venom. Starts putting some serious damage. Venom not going to be able to do much to get away. Tries to maybe go deny himself, but there's no rush. She'll just hide in the pit and blinks to safety. Wow. Nice play by Venom.
Yeah, it was a good Moonlight Shadow, too.
It was.
Good awareness coming out of the Mirana. I'm sure that was an oh shit Moonlight Shadow, but even so, it was well played.
Undying denies the top tower.
That's a good
Sex
play,
going to
though.
be on the rotation. Goes ahead and tries to TP to safety, and he will get away as there's nobody there to stop him. So he'll head back into a lane where Kim Jong is going head-to-head with Matao. Going to go into the snowball. Turns around, pops that BKB, knowing he's coming out. Matao goes down. There's the jump by Sex. Now he sees Xenos King and says, "Where'd you come from?" "Well, I know where you're going." Now the follow-up as Sex jumps away to the Remnant, and the push is on. They've got 2 down. This is the biggest window CMU has had to try to make this push to the high ground work.
That was really nice from CMU, just kind of baiting RIT out of the base. There's really no reason that RIT should have had that many heroes that far out at this stage in the game, right? That Roshan is not up to defend. Like that was kind of a
jumps
big
in,
deal.
harasses Ember back to base, buys a little more time for them to put some damage on this tower. The creeps come in. They've got the time. They've got the place. Kim Jong will go ahead and make himself some spiders out of that creep wave. Can they do this? Huge bounces with that Battle Fury. In comes 4K. Massive vacuum to wall. Forces everyone back. Kim Jong's got no opportunity to walk out. He's got to stay in. Gets hit and killed. And now the counter is up. This happened last time. The chase did not go well for the guys from CMU. Let's see if they can pull off an escape this time. Beavis goes for the TP. Do they have a stop for him? They do. There's the stun. Beavis will go down, and they pay 2 for the price of the push as everyone else manages to get themselves out. That said, the tower still standing with a whopping 3 HP.
But they also did, the Sven managed to take this bottom tier too, right? So they got a tower out of it. They got even more gold lead out of it. They will eventually lose a tower. They may even eventually lose a Rax for RIT, but 1 Rax is not a big deal if you have a Sven and an Ember Spirit. Like, you could go against Megas with that pretty innately.
It seems like they learned their Mega lesson last time around.
Yeah, especially if this Lina ends up building into a Maelstrom. Like, if they're looking into that sort of problem. With Fiery Soul and a Maelstrom, she can contribute very heavily as well. The Tuskar is able to grab a Battle Fury and Walrus Punch with Cleave, right? So there are a lot of solutions to Mega Creeps, and right now CMU are struggling to just get 1 tier 3 tower. Though, once again, RIT kind of out, kind of split up. This is a situation that CMU could take advantage of.
All right, so now we
If
do
they do.
see Ryan and Brood. Okay, hold on a second. This could be. This is very bad. Derek Ryan, not where you want to be. Gets hit with maybe an unnecessary Laguna Blade, but they were worried about the counter, so they just got a fast kill and backed away. I respect that choice as they will fall back. Meanwhile, Venom doing what Venom does, playing very aggressively here, though his farm in this game compared to the last, totally different ballgame.
Yeah, so he just... It was not necessarily any way for him to know that that was the wrong choice, but going up top to try and gank a jungler was the wrong choice. RIT being aggressive. Pudge could have turned that fight around, that gank rather around. Now instead, Broodmother out too far. She's dead, no buyback. The Necrophos dies down here, kind of alone with the Undying, watching from the sidelines. And this should be a successful high ground push with the Broodmother potentially gone. I don't know. Tombstone's basically all they have to defend with.
So Gem was just purchased by Tusk and is going to actually fly past the Pudge. So potentially, Pudge can stop that Gem from coming out. If he, yep, there's the blink. So the Gem does hit the ground, and it's going to be left right there. So Pudge will see it, has a spot, grabs it, leaves the bottle on the ground. Meanwhile, the push back at the base is happening as Jesse and the rest of the crew start to lay into this thing. Arrow will come through, catches Xenos King, probably the best case scenario for RIT as far as who's to take the arrow. Beavis from the back, tries to harass them backwards. We see Venom come in, he does get a hook, and a grab on almost below 4K, who is in some trouble. They do finish him, but Venom dropping pretty low, wants to move on Jesse. Jesse has to try to kill the Gravestone, and they will end up getting a triple off of that. Ember bounces all over the place, in a little bit of trouble. They finish Xenos. Wow. Ember, the last man standing, the hook just barely misses, and it looks like Sex is thinking about going back in. He wants to try to finish this Pudge off, has to play carefully. He looks like he's going to try to go back and come out.
That was really well played by CMU.
Super,
like, everybody on CMU really pulling together, doing what they need to do. The Pudge getting the hook, the Tombstone down just out of the way. A lot of these Tombstones have been very easily discardable, but that one was exactly where it needed to be. A free bottle going to be found here because the Pudge left it up there.
Yep.
And now this is the one lane of racks that they wanted. Maybe a second one if the buybacks don't come out. And this is a hard buyback to justify.
Right.
If you're set in 25 seconds, you're going to lose one lane of racks either way. Holding on to it and hoping they don't go too.
All right, so here we come. We do see the engagement of the 3. In comes the Tusk, makes the big roll. Gonna fly in. Xenos King TPs into the action to defend the towers. Kim Jong-il pops the BKB, says, listen, we have to at least take the melee racks, and that's what they're gonna do. 5 seconds left on the Sven. They can probably get the range. They know he's not gonna burn the buyback. The hook misses, so this will mean they have to withdraw after taking those racks. So a really great pickup off of the back of a really great high ground defense. Now, was that high ground push too hasty? Should they have gone on Roached instead of pushing the high ground there?
No. You push the high ground if you can always. The high ground is almost always a more important objective than Roach because it is a more easily defended objective point for your opponents, right? Pushing onto the high ground means that you're always at a disadvantage. In the Roach pit, you can organize it in such a way that you're not necessarily at a disadvantage. So
you said you should always Roach or push high ground if you can.
If you're guaranteed to get a high ground, yeah.
Was RIT in a position where they should have said, yeah, we definitely can push the high ground? Because apparently...
Oh, you're saying for RIT?
Yes.
I honestly, I think that they should have been able to take the high ground. I said it during the push. It was so well played by CMU, and the communication just didn't seem there by RIT.
Gotcha.
I think they could have taken that high ground if they had just been a little more wary of the hook danger. And
this is dangerous.
Yeah,
so,
if they had initiated onto it a little bit
So
better.
Kim Jong's in here trying to sneak the Roche, but what he might just be doing is softening it up. Xenos King looks like he's going to come in for some scout, puts down a ward, Venom's on the high ground. They see him, and they back away. So it actually sort of works out to get Kim out of what could have been a really dangerous engagement. Though the fight's coming. This is going to be it right here in the pit, right?
Yeah, presumably one team or another is going to smoke up here in a second. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, Tusk has smoke, so that's what's happening here. Jesse's going to clear out some ancients, and then I assume a smoke, probably wraparound.
Almost
Instead of
below
straight into
4K.
the pit.
Looks like he's got the blink. Wants to maybe make a go in here. Possible engagement. Sex comes in first, trying to get some stuff out. Nice. Dodges the hook, and they go ahead and get the D ward. Out comes the shot from the Tusk. They're saying Kim Jong is inside. Let's keep an eye on him as they're split to enter the Roche pit from both sides. We've got our Tusk, our blink mobility heroes. Now the question is, if they engage to the high ground here, will they be in trouble because Darkseer is out of position?
Yeah, here we go. There's going to be the hook, and
Hook
it will
misses.
miss.
Ooh, man, those hooks, 2 of them, have just barely missed, and if they had connected, it would have set off a whole heck of a lot of fireworks.
They can
Ember Spirit
snowball
comes
in
keeps
anytime they
harassing.
want, and Kim Jong's got to be aware that this is a threat.
I think
right?
he kind of wants them to be honest. All right, so in comes Sex, wants to make the move. Hook is going to go, but it's not going to be on the right person. In comes the Ember Spirit. He's going to jump all over the place. Now the Walrus Punch up on Kim Jong, pops the BKB. Snowball's going to come out, buy a little bit of space, burn some of that BKB. He's going to go in very deep. He's all alone. This will cost him his life. Necrophos hits the ultimate and puts him to death. There is no buyback, as that was a Ag Scythe, I believe.
Yep, that's the first one.
That's the first one. So Tusk will not be returning to this fight. Kim Jong goes boldly in where no man has gone before for that Roche pit. Jesse toying with the idea of coming in, gets hooked. This is bad news bears. Jesse's stunned. He's going to go down. That's the double and should open them up for either an engagement or a Roche. They catch Xenos. Xenos dropping very low. Sight God is going to give his life, but he's healed. He's healed by a beautiful usage of those boots. And now Sext on the run. Not going to get away. He didn't have a backup. He didn't have an escape. He's got nothing. Now they go in, they get a fast Roche, and they can push as hard as they gosh darn well please. Last man seen is Darkseer, and it looks like they're going to start the push at the same time if they just let Kim Jong do the Roche.
Yeah, I don't even think they should be bothering with Roche right now, to be honest. They can always fall back to it later. Kim Jong maybe stays and gets it, but that's another
only because he can then use his webs to get here very quickly.
They honestly may even want to consider just going in on the tier 4s and forcing all the buybacks.
All right, so we do get one buyback from the Ember. Immediately hooked in, jumps away, but he's caught inside the Dismember. That's huge.
That's a game-losing buyback.
Oh, man. Sext is locked up, knocked down for a full 80 seconds. Meanwhile, Darkseer doing what he can. Venom does miss the hook, and they pulled away from the tower. So they stopped the tower push to try and get the kill on that Darkseer. Now they want to make a go. Xenos King, dodge. Psychod tries to dodge the finger, gets hit by it. Scythe is going to come in and finish off Xenos. Now we see an engagement on 3. Xenos dropping very low. Actually, he survived it. My bad. Beavis now wants to chase Jesse. You got to back up, CMU. Get your objectives.
I cannot figure out how that Lena survived. I'm looking into it now. Keep calling the shots. I'm looking into what
Yeah,
happened.
we'll take a look as Venom is going to blink off to safety. The push falls apart because they went for kills, and now Venom is exposed. Jesse trying to find him. The TP comes out. Venom's going to go down. And what started out looking really good on the pick for that Ember Spirit, I thought they would convert. CMU got a bit distracted. They got those saucer eyes and tried to go for additional kill on the Darkseer and failed to get this. They could have got this and this in that time.
Yeah, they...
Also, by the way, Kim Jong spent it, I think it's still down here working on the Roche.
Yeah, he's still chewing it up. If he had been up there, they definitely would have gotten that, though. That's why I said you just skip the Roche, right? What's that Aegis on the Broodmother worth? Once again, it's worth nothing. By the time the Broodmother dies, she's usually the last one to die. She can't stay and fight anyway.
So have we figured out what saved Lena's life?
I am still trying to figure that out.
So while you figure that out, I'm going to point out,
of a
between
log.
28 minutes and 33 minutes, RIT at 28 had a gold lead of almost 7,500. At 33 minutes, or 34, I'm sorry, CMU now has a gold lead of 7,500. So I'm not great at math, but that's a 15,000 gold swing in less than 10 minutes. That's a lot.
Yeah, I can't figure out how she lived there, to be honest. I'm not seeing it. It got dispelled on her somehow. Oh, it must have been Snowball. That wouldn't show in the combat log. It must have been a Snowball dodge.
I didn't know that could work. Okay, so Xenos comes in. Speaking of snowballs, Beavis unable to use a snowball dodge. He's going to get caught out and burnt down by a nice rotation from Xenos King and the rest of the crew. They've got 4 deep as they head up the mid. We're going to see a TP back from Kim Jong, presumably to defend, as they're going to need all hands on deck for this one, without Undying available to help out.
And Broodmother is going to split push this top tower. That's a risky call. Unlike RIT, CMU do not have any way to handle megas, even supers. And the hook will
misses
miss.
Jesse with a nice dodge. Glyph was not utilized when the tower was up. It was utilized after it went down. Derek's gonna come in and do some harass. Gets caught with the Ember. He goes ahead and grabs himself a Sven. Sven is locked out, but here comes Xenos and the rest of the group. Big vacuum into a wall. That may be all she wrote. There are buybacks on both of those heroes. Kim Jong's going to come back up with the Aegis. Psycho God trying to put in a little bit of work on Sex, but he's getting very, very low. Walrus Punch engagement on the Necrophos. Necrophos in some trouble. Goes ahead and heals himself up. Utilizing those boots, trying to make a counter engagement. Kim Jong wants to make the chase. Buyback on Marana. And the Pudge. Kim Jong wants to try to close the deal. Can he do it? We do see Sex make the jump. Kim Jong getting closer and closer, but he's running out of webs. He's running out of space. He gets caught inside the ice shards. Here's Venom. Does go ahead and gets the hooked in on Ember. That's a big play by him. The buyback's well worth it now. Now the follow. Xeno's going to hide in the trees. Nicely done to get his TP to safety. Last man standing is going to be... Matau just barely missed. And they will all head back to base. So they lose 2. Sven not coming back for 60 seconds guaranteed as he was hit with the ultimate from Derek Yan as they try to make this push desperately down the mid. So I guess you could say Kim Jong pushing that top tower was not a huge loss because well, it is now. Pops the BKB on the run, looking for some help from his team. In comes Venom to do a little bit of zoning. Gets caught with the snowball. He's got to be careful, Kim Jong. Circles back around. Big hook on Xenos. Xenos will go down. He does have a buyback, so he'll burn it right away as they start to lay into this tower. Sven, the only one who can't come. Sven and Ember both down. This gives a lot of space for CMU to impart their power onto these racks. Can they get both? It looks like they will be able to, as the guys from RIT have to go back and regen before they can try to make an engagement here. That'll be racks 1. That'll be racks 2. And this is...
Go get the megas.
Get those megas. Get those megas.
In 9 seconds, they are not going to be able to get the Ancient down, but they can get the megas and really force the hand out of RIT. RIT can handle supers, right? That's not a big deal for them, to be honest. Even in 2 lanes, it's not the end of the world.
All right, so they're going to push in. A little Spider trying to finish the tower. Not going to happen. Looks like CMU is going to play the safe game and act like they are withdrawing. You know that they're just looking for a hook, though. Venom going to throw it. He gets it! He gets it! In comes the snowball. Will it be fast enough? It is. Sex is going to survive just barely. Venom goes to the high ground. Vision is put out. Kim Jong is going to get caught, as would the Marana. Kim Jong on the run. Venom says, I don't think I can help you. You are out of luck. Tries to save him, but that reveals where he's standing. Now he has to blink to safety. He does manage to get himself just barely out of range of the ice shards, which actually stops the Darkseer from the chase and saves a man's life.
They don't end up even grabbing this tower that's sitting at 1, 2, 3. It's literally as easy as 1, 2, 3. Like, the Broodmother could have gone down there and done it herself. This is just so... It has to be frustrating for CMU. They are playing with such bubbles of perfection mixed into a stew of, oh, we're almost to where we need to be, but not quite. They are not out of the woods yet. As far ahead as it seems like they are, a Sven and an Ember Spirit, they don't even have 10,000 net worth lead, only lanes of supers. Yeah, this could still go either way.
Dire with lots of aggressive vision here in the mid position, like you said. Mega is not up, and I think that's a big one. Here's the rotation now towards the bottom. Sorry, got distracted as we see a big rotation. They want to take out Beavis. Beavis, pretty much nothing they can do to try to save this man, so he will very likely go down here. Laguna Blade used, everything used to guarantee that kill. I'm curious about the Laguna Blade use there. But they push down bottom lane. Why not? I guess they figure as they go ahead and get the pick off. That's actually a really good gold swing in their favor because of how far ahead CMU is, which is sort of the advantage, right, to having CMU have this many racks and towers, is that even a kill on somebody like the Undying actually leverages a fair amount of gold for the team.
Yeah, and also just not having that tombstone up, like I had said, with barring a really nice hook, that Tombstone is the only good defensive potential that CMU have. They're a very aggressive team. They like to be up and in your face. So when you're
dodge on all sides, Sex goes to the high ground. Can they contest this? Nice dodge again on the hook. Sex being very aware of where the hooks are coming from, does a nice bounce and immediately jumps away to safety. Meanwhile, in the mid position, Jesse takes out the Rex. Rotate back to bottom where the rest of his team is. Jesse heads towards the top. Says, you have to split to stop me, buddies. That's just the way it is. Xenos King going to go ahead and fire up that right-click damage. Tears into the melee racks. Kim Jong-il going to be on the rotation. Looks like he wants to go. He finds himself some Sex, but Sex going to jump away to the Remnant.
What is Jesse doing up here? This whole time he could be knocking down this tower with his ult. His ult is up. Like, that tower could be gone right now.
CMU, Beavis comes in, puts up the tombstone in a good spot, wants to make the rotation, going to go immediately get the Guardian's Greaves, tries to rotate in. Ember's going to jump to the high ground. Nice play by the Tusk to zone everybody off of the high. Arrow's going to miss again, and now it looks like CMU is eager to try and push something in to happen here, but they can't. RIT looks set up. They're all going to fall back. CMU says, that's not the engagement we want. Let them push on the high ground. That's where we are at our strongest. Great vision here. Lots of vision from the Dire. They know exactly where everyone is. They're watching Venom for those hooks.
Oh, there's the
Arrow nicely dodged, and once again that should tell them that there's vision, and it does. They are able to reward it. Jesse wants to come up. He wants it. He's got the Ion Shell. He wants that melee racks real bad. Saves his ultimate though, in case it is needed. Big hook into the trees, and Ember jumps away. Venom's gonna get caught inside of the vacuum. The wall's not as effective as it has been in the past. Derek gonna move in, gets the ulti up, but the BKB is there. Now Jesse continues to push, goes on Derek. Venom's going to be on the wraparound. Here comes the snowball, though, to get him to safety. We see the Ember getting very low. Can they finish the job? He does go down. He has buyback. Slycon has to walk through the wall to try and get away. Jesse dropping low. Beavis wants to fight it. Jesse does go down. Now the chase is on. Nice Laguna Blade to try and get a finish, but now they're on the run. Buyback from the Ember. He immediately comes back in to try and get some zoning, but that could put him in some trouble. He doesn't have an escape remnant. He does manage to finish off the bug. Is it going to be enough as he's trying to get away? He doesn't have a remnant. He's bouncing. He's jumping. He's dead. He diebacks into the game, or into the bottom lane for nothing but a bug. And let's look at this fight recap. So
that buyback was really questionable.
Look at that gold
like
swing.
Even let's say he does buy back and they do win that fight based on that. He's got to assume that there are some buybacks available for his opponent. So best case scenario, they're going to get a ranged barracks out of that. Worst case scenario, he dies and your opponents are going to get megas. He does not have another buyback, though his team does here. And it looks like because Ember bought back, now that's going to force out the buyback, probably at least out of Sven, if not also out of the Darkseer.
So they are going to go to the bottom where you see Venom immediately go in. He says 1, 2, 3. The tower is mine. Goes to the range rack, knowing there'll be some buybacks. Starts to burn it down, looking to try to work their way towards these mega. Jesse is going to have to stop the creeps at the tower before he goes down here to defend these racks. They do pop the glyph as everyone starts to come back up. Darkseer in 7. But I'm not going to risk it. Backs away. We do have Roche coming up very, very soon.
They did chip away.
Venom goes ahead. Nice grab on Psycho God. Sorry, to get him to safety and pulls him out of what would have been the death of Mirana. Are they going to rotate back around? Or are they just going to go check Roche?
Well, Roche,
He's up.
Yeah, I don't know. I would generally think that teams tend to steer away from checking Roche the second he can possibly come up when they do have a map advantage like this, because they want to chip away.
Chips in, Jess makes a jump though. Goes ahead and puts up the stun, gets caught inside. Here's the ultimate. That's huge! That's huge! Sven did buyback though, so that's why he was in there, but he ain't coming back anytime soon. Kim Jong Venom gonna push into this tower. That's Megas. That should be the game. CMU mounts what seemed impossible at one point. Nice zoning going on by Venom. He's gonna go in directly. Says, hey, kill me, guys. Buy more time for my space. To my team to do what they want, and the GG looks like it's coming out from RIT. Yeah, there it is. Official. Not really sure.
That buyback down bottom out of the Ember Spirit is really, like, there were a lot of moments that you could point to and be like, that was the moment, but the buyback with the Ember Spirit going to the bottom lane was the most recent and most obvious moment you could point to and say, that was a game-losing decision, and it really has to sting very heavily.
Definitely. So 3 great games. Actually, a lot of fun to watch on this evening's Tuesday Night Fights edition of Carnegie Mellon University versus the Rochester Institute of Technology. CMU puts up one hell of a show in Game 2 and Game 3 and ends up showing us just how well to play as a team, especially in terms of Venom's Pudge. Great games, guys. My name is Toffees. You can find me at Toffees TV. I'm joined here by my co-caster, Gorgon the Wonder Cow. You can find him at the Wonder Cow over on Twitter. Any last thoughts before we sign out for the night, Gorgon?
No, just go ahead and come back Thursday for what I assume will be an official sanctioned match, and if you want some more analysis, I've got stuff up on Dota Buff and Dota Blast this week.
So check out Gorgon's writing all over the scene. You may not have heard of him, but you definitely read him, I can guarantee. Check out cstarleague.com for an entry and a chance to win some sweet Razor swag. We'll see you again on Thursday, boys and girls. I'll hang out in Twitch chat for just a little while in case you have some questions, concerns, or glorious feedback. My name's Toffees. As always, boys and girls, Toffees out.
This space inside my heart. day from the first time.